I'm very fascinated by it for one big reason. And it's not so much because, yes, there's a younger demographic on there, or because it seems like it's growing. I'm looking at it because the way that you're able to grow is by leveraging affiliates who are influencers on the platform. I think that's a really interesting way that they've been able to spin this to where you're able to create a TikTok shop and really not have to do any advertising and just basically reach out to influencers in your space, offer to give them maybe even give them a special discount for their audience, but then they can get a commission built right in because the affiliate program's built right in for the influencer. So the influencer can look through and go, oh, these people are part of this. I sell whatever gardening stuff. I have a gardening following. I'm going to go ahead and promote this product and I'm going to make 15% or 25% on every single thing sold. So now with a TikTok shop, you can put it in there and your traffic isn't just coming from search. It's coming from influencers that are going to be talking about your product because they are incentivized to do it. So I'm fascinated by that. I'll definitely be exploring that more in the future. It's just piquing my interest. And yeah, we're just going to have to keep following the TikTok shops. I think it's fascinating. So yeah, that's what I think.
It's funny that you bring that up, Scott, because Fatty Pancake said, does TikTok Shop work for Handmade? I know it's more influencer friendly where you can assign links. And I think it is handmade friendly. It's less handmade friendly than it would be if you had a brand that sold the same thing over and over again. Now, handmade doesn't necessarily mean every product is unique, right? And so if you have something that you can recreate over and over again, that does really well on TikTok. And I think, Scott, the virality of how that gets shared between and among users on TikTok is something you can't really replicate on another platform, right? Like even if Twitter launches Twitter stores, sorry, Elon, X stores, you're probably not going to see that level of virality because of the way that TikTok works. It's a video-based platform. So you get to see and you get over that conversion rate hurdle of what is the product and what does it do well. And that was, I think, Scott, the last thing that I've seen talked about in terms of how TikTok specifically is really ahead of the curve here, is the live stream capabilities and live selling. It's something we saw roll out at the beginning of this year. It's something they've doubled and tripled down on. And it's really turning TikTok into QVC, where you're saying, hey, here's this cool thing, check it out. You have a question, ask me about it. There's a lot of people vying for that capability in the US, and no one has really gotten it figured out because people aren't going to your website to watch you live sell. But they are on TikTok, and if you can hook them into that video, then they will come buy the product from you. And it's something that's done really, really well for them in China. It's something they're trying to make even better in the US. And we know some people like Tiffany who have done a great job live selling on other platforms and have turned TikTok live streams into the way that they are live selling, and it's exploded their business. Why? Because you get to answer all the questions that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do.
Yeah.
Amazon has been trying that for 8 years now, I think.
Yeah,
I seem to remember it was right around the time we launched the last brand that we sold that we were selling through Amazon. And no one knows that it's there because it's buried at the bottom of the page versus it being a built-in feature as a part of the system. And it's not to say that you have to take advantage of that feature, but if you're using a TikTok shop and you have an affiliate who is good at live selling, then they're going to be able to sell your stuff very well. And that's actually how Tiffany built her business, right? She doesn't sell her, well, now she does, but most of what she sells is other people's things. And so if you're able to do that, that's a skill set. It's another opportunity for you. And it's yet another reason that TikTok is going to continue to grow, assuming it doesn't get banned here in January.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and Catherine had put in here, great sales for handmade item, especially shirts and sweatshirts. Take a look at Hippie Runners, has 1K people watching lives every day. Yeah. And it's kind of like think about like QVC, shopping, the shopping network channel, whatever it's called nowadays. I don't know.
HSN. Yeah.
HSN, all of those, they're still on. They've been on for 20 plus years. People love it. But you know why too? They get to see it. They get to hear the conversation. They also get to ask questions. You get callers that call in. You have basically it's built in, validation that the product is good. All that stuff works. Like you said, Chris, Amazon tried it. I think Amazon could have did a better job with that. But I think TikTok is crushing it right now. And one of the main reasons is because the influencers now, they could have their own QVC show. Right? They can just go, I'm going to pick 5 products this week that are my top products that I want to talk about. And now they're going to earn commission on each and every one. So they have a unlimited catalog as long as people in their niche are creating products. And then the person that's making the product in their shop, even if they don't have a lot of traffic right now, they're going to get exposure. So I think it's brilliant.
I think that is the combination that Amazon always missed out on, right? Is they were trying to have the brands do it. Who cares about your brand in terms of watching a live stream, right? Like, no offense, but unless they're really in love with you as an e-commerce brand, they're probably not going to watch your stuff. On the other hand, and I think it was hippie runners. Yeah, hippie runners, right? If you're a hippie and a runner, that's probably somebody you're following on the platform anyway. So they go live. They're like, hey, I have this new barefoot shoe that I've been trail running with. Here, let me tell you about it. Let me show you how it works. Let me do those things. They get an affiliate commission on each and every one of those sales. Like you said, they have basically an unlimited well of products. So it's not just an individual brand saying, my coffee's better than their coffee because it tastes more like coffee. It's somebody who's genuinely interested in the product or the product category that's able to relate back to customers and sell something. So you're leveraging the best of both worlds. You're getting the e-commerce side of it and you're getting the influencer side of it baked right in. And so they're saying, this is something that's cool. This is something I endorse. And you get the e-commerce sales and the data collection on the back end. So you get the best of both worlds versus having all of the e-commerce data in the world and saying, well, now we have to figure out how to go get influencers. TikTok took it the opposite way and said, we have all these people who are talking about all these things. Why not just let them sell it on the platform?
Yeah, I love it. And I think the last piece there I'll share is I think the reason why Amazon didn't do well in it, at least from my perspective, and they've proven to do this in the past, is they're not willing to pay out those commissions, right? Like they're also not building an influencer. Well, they are, but they're not doing as good of a job as an influencer program where people go there already to consume content, right? They would have had to have that built in, but they're allowing affiliates to set their own commissions. You know what I mean? So that's great. Right now, I mean, on Amazon, your affiliate commissions are tiny, and they've gotten worse and people have complained about it. So to me, that's hurt them. I also think Amazon, with them creating their own Amazon Basics, has made people not want to necessarily sell on that platform. So I think TikTok is up and coming. I think it's very interesting to watch. Not sure if I'll get into that game. My wife might, but I'm not sure that I would want to. But it's very, very interesting. And I think anyone out there right now that is on Etsy and trying to make this their full-time gig, I'd look into TikTok shops. I personally would do that.
I think the real thing that's cool about that is even if you don't have the skills to live sell and you just want to be a product creator, and this is where I wanted to go back to Fatty Pancake's question about being a handmade person, because one of the questions we get from the Etsy side of the world all the time is like, how do I just keep being an artist? This is a way to be able to keep being an artist, creating really cool things, and then having someone else do the legwork. Yes, you give up a percentage of those sales, but the virality that's built in and the ability to just sit back and create while someone else is doing the sales, I think is extremely important for artists. It's something people need to start paying attention to and taking advantage of. Regardless of your thoughts about TikTok as a platform, I think it is something we need to pay attention to because the lessons that other brands are learning from TikTok are not going to go away, even if TikTok does. Just because TikTok gets banned, if they do, doesn't mean that we're not going to see live selling and a similar affiliate commission structure start to pop up somewhere like Instagram or on X. Why? Because it works. It generates revenue for the platform. It generates revenue for the business. It generates revenue for the influencer. It makes everybody happy, and it makes people grow together. And if people like X or Instagram are looking for additional revenue streams, this is a very easy way to start to add those things in without them having to add an additional feature. You can already go live on those platforms. You can do all of these things that's already built in. What they are waiting for, who knows? But what we're seeing on TikTok is that has already exploded in popularity in most of the rest of the world. And people who are doing it well in the Western world are having a lot of success with it. So if you're a brand or you're somebody who thinks they're a decent salesman, you need to be paying attention to it and take the approach from wherever you're coming from. If you're a salesman, you start creating a follower, you have all of those brands to promote. If you're a brand, start looking at some of those people in your niche, like hippie runners or whatever that brand was that somebody mentioned a few minutes ago. Say, is my product a fit for this person? And am I willing to give it a try? The good news, Scott, with something like an affiliate commission is there's not a lot of upfront risk, right? If they get on their live stream, they talk about your product for a whole lot of, for a whole lot of people for an hour or two, and they don't sell anything, you're not out the money. right? If they do, then you make money and they make money and TikTok makes a little bit of money and everybody's ahead of the curve. And if you can find a few of those people and one or two of them start to do well, what you will see, because of the way that they've built out that ecosystem, is that people will start piling in to sell your product. And you know, Scott, back in May, I was at an e-commerce conference with our good buddy Steve Chu, and I ran, I think it was the $1 to $5 million mastermind, something like that. Brands right around $1 million. And there were two people who were doing really, really well in that group with TikTok shops at that point. And that was the exact strategy they were using back in May was I got one person and now my only marketing is TikTok shops because I don't have time to do anything else except for respond to all of the people that are asking to sell my stuff on the platform. And every time I approve somebody, if they get one sale, awesome, because I make money. If they get 100 sales, even better, because I've now made 100 times that amount of money. And so ignoring it because it's TikTok, I think, is a mistake, and ignoring it because it's a platform that you might not necessarily resonate with yourself, or you aren't somebody who wants to create that social following or get on and do a live stream like we're doing right now, is also a mistake. You need to think about how you can use that to your advantage. It's something that is here, it's something that's growing, and it's something that's definitely not going away anytime soon.